live with Tao. Arguments cannot leave, cannot lead you to transformation. Arguments cannot lead you to transformation. You can go on arguing lifelong, but transformation will not happen. Osho has mentioned an incident. He says once a girl came to him and she asked if there is a God really. She was ready to argue that there is no God. Osho looked at her face, into her eyes. There was tension. She was filled with argument. She wanted to fight about the point. Really deep down, she wanted to confirm that there is no God. Because if there is God, you are in trouble. If there is God, then you cannot remain whatsoever you are. Then a challenge comes. God becomes a challenge to you. It means you cannot be satisfied with yourself. Something higher than you is possible. A higher state, an absolute state of consciousness is possible. That is what God means. God means not a person sitting somewhere as you think because of your conditionings. It refers to a higher state of consciousness is available. An absolute state of consciousness is possible. It means there is something higher is possible. She was ready to argue. And she said, I am an atheist and I don't believe in God. Similar situation has happened with Gautam Buddha. Osho told her, if there is no God, you said, I am an atheist and I do not believe in God. This is contradictory. If you are an atheist, then the question of believing in God does not arise at all. If there is no God, then how can you believe? How can you say that you cannot believe in God? You are self-contradictory and God is irrelevant. Your belief and your disbelief, your argument for or against your argument is related to you. It is not related to God. Why are you concerned? If there is no God, why have you traveled so long? And why have you come to me to argue about something that you believe that there is no God? If you believe, that's it. Finished with it. Forget and forgive him. Go your home and do not need to waste your time that there is God or not. You say there is no God. I have nothing to do with it. I cannot tell you there is God. You have already decided that you have gone to a restaurant. Many times People go and they suggest that you should try this, try that. No, I do not. You order whatever you want. That's your choice. It does not matter to me. That is your choice. If you like this, you order. If you don't like, don't order. If you feel that you believe there is no God, then the question does not arise that you do not believe in Him. Forget and forgive Him, go your home, and do not waste your time. If He is not, then why are you worried? Something is not, why to argue? Why is this effort to, you want to have this proof? So either your atheism is false, that is the only thing. If you believe it is not good, it is not good. There is no question of argument about it. If I argue, I'll be simply wasting my time and energy. If you have time to waste, you go and waste somewhere else, not with me. You said there is no God, final. This is your final judgment. Final decision, there is no God, I am atheist. I am happy with it. It has nothing to do with me. It's your belief that you are atheist. So if you want to have that, someone came to me and he said, you should embrace this religion. Why should I argue? Why should I and why should I not? I simply asked, when he told me that, I said, can I offer you a cup of tea? It's a very nice taste. I have 3 flavors. Can I offer you one? Change the topic. It is not interest. I am not interested in arguing with you. You will give me stereotype arguments, and when you are giving a stereotype argument, that means you are convinced not to listen to the viewpoint of the other. It will be simply wastage of my time. The moment I said, can I offer you a cup of tea? He said, no, I just had tea. Okay, I am leaving now. Thank you. Finished. I do not have time to waste. But there are people who will go on engaging themselves in arguments because they have nothing else to do. Why this effort to prove that He is not, God is not? This effort shows something about you, not about God. You are afraid if God is, then it is a challenge. If God is not, then you can remain whatsoever you are and there is no challenge to life. As I said, God is not a person sitting somewhere else. Instead, it is the ultimate potentiality. The ultimate potentiality. It's a challenge. A person who is afraid of challenge, risk, damages of changing himself, of mutation, will always deny that there is God. If you are happy with your religion, your way of life, be happy. I did not ask. I am already happy the way I am. So I don't need to. Someone yesterday sent me an invitation for a 7-night Hindu prayer. He said, are you coming? I said, I am so full that I do not need anything. I do not drive in the night, number 1. Number 2, I do not eat after sunset. And what am I going to learn going to the primary class? Because what the person will be telling me or talking in this sermon is the basic things what he has heard from someone, what is belief system, what is a stereotype. So there is no point in my going. I don't go anywhere. So Osho says that Osho told her that God is not a thing which can be proved or disproved. God is not an object about which you can take an opinion for and against. God is your ultimate possibility, your hidden possibility. A seed, whether this seed will grow or not, whether this seed is a mango seed or a rose seed, can the argument will lead anything? The gardener says that let me prepare the soil and plant the 2 seeds. So, but those seeds will take time to confirm that this is a mango tree or any other tree. Can your argument with the gardener that this is a mango seed and this is a guava seed can help you in any way? No. You can argue, and by the time this seed that is planted will blossom and start bearing the fruits, but your argument will never come to an end. Will that happen? Your argument that this is a mango seed and this is, you do not know, and even if it is a small plant, you do not know the difference between the leaves of a mango plant and that of the guava plant. Maybe you would have heard. So if you know that from that, you can know that. But it is seed. Seed means the potentiality, the hidden potentiality that can blossom only when, that can reach its crescendo only when it goes through a process of planting and nourishing and nurturing and then attaining to its full exploration. God is a possibility within you. It is not something without you. The plant, the mango plant is within the seed, is not outside. Arguments are outside. What is inside the seed, you cannot argue about it. What you are arguing, you are looking at the seed from outside, that this is a mango seed. I believe that this is a mango seed. If you travel to that potential, that possibility, he becomes real. You have allowed that potentiality to attain crescendo. Then you have known. If you do not travel up to that point, then God is unreal. And if you argue against him, then there is no point in traveling. You have already decided this is not a mango seed or this is the mango seed, and you are satisfied with it, then you go home and finish the argument. I have no time to waste behind the useless argument. You remain the same, and this becomes a vicious cycle. You argue that God is not, and because of it, you never travel towards him. Traveling towards God means traveling towards your hidden potentiality. Because it is an inner travel, the travel is not outside. Arguments lie outside. Travel towards Him is inner travel. It's an inner journey. You never travel, because how can you travel towards a point which is not, which you believe it is not? So you remain the same, and when you remain the same, you never encounter God, because it is your potentiality, it is your hidden splendor. You never come to any feeling, to any vibration coming from Him. Then it is proved more to you that He is not. So Osho did not argue with that person. And the more it is proved, the more you are moving far away. The more you are falling, the more the gap increases. The more you are failing, the more gap increases. So it is not a question of whether God is or not, Osho told her. It is a question of whether you want to grow or not. Instead of arguing about God, instead of arguing that this is not a mango tree, start the journey differently. Plant the seed, and when you reach the reality that the seed has blossomed, the seed that you were arguing about, and you will continue to argue lifelong, plant it, and then the reality will express itself, whether it is a mango tree or some other tree. Simple, that is needed. It is a question of whether you want to grow or not. If you grow, your total growth will be the meeting. Total growth will be the communion. Total growth will be the encounter. It will be the encounter. You have encountered it deep within you. Osho told her an anecdote, and he said, on one windy morning, just as spring was ending, the spring was ending, a snail was traveling upwards on a cherry tree. It was a windy morning. The spring was coming to an end. A snail started traveling towards on a cherry tree. There were sparrows around. It's a kind of a bird. A sparrow is a kind of a small bird, which were just on the neighboring tree, started laughing because it was not the season and there were no cherries on the tree. And the poor snail was making so much effort to reach to the top. So you are like a snail trying to make an effort to reach. So they laughed at his expense. This is what everybody does. So sparrows started laughing at the expense of the snail, what it was doing. It was not this season that cherries were in blossom. That has not come. Then one sparrow flew down, came near to the snail and said, "Darling, where are you going? There are no cherries yet on the tree, as everybody tells you. The sparrow flew from where neighboring tree, came close to the snail and told her, "Darling, where are you going? The season for the cherries to blossom has not come." But the snail never even paused. The snail continued her upward journey without pausing. The snail said, "They will be in blossom by the time I reach." Sparrows were laughing at the expense of the snail that there is no cherries on the tree as yet because the season hasn't come in. But the snail said, she continued its journey without any pause, without any argument, without knowing whether there is cherries are in season or not, said, "They will be there when I reach there. It will take a long time for me to reach to the top, and by that time, cherries will be in blossom." God is not, but He will be there by the time you reach. God is not in this season, just like cherries are not in this season. By the time you will take, the time that you take to reach to the top of the tree, top of your potentiality, for you, God is not because your potentiality is not explored. It moves at a snail's pace because of your upbringing and conditionings. It is your surrender and trust that it gives your journey a wing. You rely on somebody else's words, message, and then remember one thing more: neither the surrender nor trust is static. It is a continuous process. Beginning takes a time, and then maintaining it is even more difficult. It is like diving. You have started the process of diving, it never comes to an end. You reach different altitudes or depths, but the abyss never comes. God is not a subject of argument. It is not an subject or object of argument, but it is a subject that you need to consume. You cannot argue about a dish. Either you like it. If you like it, consume it. It will give you satiation. Rather wasting your energy in arguing, you use your energy in transforming yourself. You have not tasted the dish. You are just looking at it. Its color, its smell, nothing appeals to you. That is your way. So do not eat. If you want to know about that dish and you want a satiation through it, you have to consume it. And energy is not much. If you divert your energy into argument, you can become a genius in arguing, but then you are simply wasting. You will remain empty. And you are wasting your energy at a great cost, because the same energy can become meditation, but you are using this energy to become a logician. You can make every logical argument. You can find very convincing proofs or disproofs, but you will remain the same. Will not be any suggestion, any transformation in you. You will remain the same. Your arguments are not going to change you. You have to leave the argument, ride the wings of it is that your insatiable quest. Your insatiable quest is a bird that has two wings, the trust and surrender. When the two wings begin to flap, your insatiable quest learns to flap its two wings, surrender and trust. Your journey begins. Remember one thing, whatsoever changes you is good. Whatsoever gives you growth, expansion, and increase in consciousness is good. Whatsoever makes you static and whatsoever protects your status quo is not good. It is fatal and suicidal. Argument helps you to maintain your status quo, your belief system, your conditionings, but it is static. But if that shows that there is no insatiable quest in you, you simply want to argue and become a logician, that's enough. Be pleased with it. I do not have time to waste. Either give the wings of trust and surrender to your bird of inner quest, or argue. Use that energy in argument to become a logician, or give the wings of trust and surrender to your bird of inner quest. Enough for now.